Welcome to the farm and our weekly update for July 27th, 2024. The word for this week is rain. For much of the summer, it's been hot and dry. The past 2 weeks, we've had rain almost every day, so it's been a little difficult getting into the garden to do what we needed to do. Despite the rain, we did accomplish quite a bit, so let's take a look at what went on in the garden this week. Last fall, we planted the cloves from 4 or 5 garlic bulbs, and we dug those at the beginning of this month. And they've been hanging for 3 weeks drying. So this week we cut the stems, removed the roots, and peeled back the outside layers of the garlic. We'll save some of the bulbs to replant in October. The rest we'll use for cooking and canning. Our tomatoes were planted on April 15th, and we did get a good many tomatoes off of them. By this point, though, most of them have dried up or died, as you can see, mostly from southern blight. We do have a few plants that are still putting on some green growth, and so we decided to try and extend our tomato season by taking some cuttings off of those plants, and then we're going to root those by putting them in pots of soil, and some of them we're going to leave in jars of water. After removing a section of the stem, we removed most of the branches and any of the flowers that have bloomed out. Most of the cuttings put in pots of soil. These should root and in a few weeks be ready to put out in the garden. Some of the cuttings we left in jars of water, and we'll be able to see the root development happening there, and we'll have that on a later episode. We'll need to keep the tomato cuttings well watered while they develop their root system, and we'll also keep them in a sunny location but not in direct light. The goats love it anytime we have some leftover green beans that they can snack on. Our peppers are doing well. This year we planted ghost peppers, habaneros, Tabasco, cayenne, and jalapenos. We're going to leave some of the jalapenos on the plant until they turn red, and some we'll pick green for poppers and also for canning. Our squash and zucchini are still producing. They look really healthy at this point, especially this one zucchini. It's one of the biggest plants I think we've ever had, and you can see how large the leaves on this particular plant are. Our cucumbers are at the peak of their production. The plants look good. They're still full of blooms. This week we picked over 20 pounds of cucumbers. We always seem to have a few cucumbers that hide from us and get a little too large, but the goats appreciate it when that happens. You just got to be careful and make sure that you leave with all your fingers intact. Oh. Most of the cucumbers end up being turned into pickles. We'll have a video that we'll release a little later that shows the full process that we do to make our pickles. Our corn has benefited from all the rain. It's growing and it's actually tasseling now. The green beans have run up the trellis and are in bloom, so in a few weeks we should have green beans. This is actually a second planting. In our last video we showed where we had thinned our okra. It's grown a lot, benefited from all the rain, and we're on the verge of them starting to bloom. The germination rate on the peas was fabulous, maybe actually too good. They're super thick, and so this week we started the process of thinning those out. We're going to thin those to around 4 to 5 inches part. We have a pear tree that's absolutely full of pears, the best crop we've ever had. So we're going to be pulling those soon. Did learn this week that pears are one of the few fruits that you actually pull before they're ripe. We picked some tomato tomatoes this week. These are from volunteer plants that come up every year in various places around the farm. I can remember these very same tomato tomatoes when I was a kid 40-something years ago. Our last update for this week is on the gourd plant that came up as a volunteer plant in the corner of my dad's shop. We'll actually use these gourds next spring on our martin pole.